Joseph, how have you helped people not just sing songs but actually enter into worship? And what's the role of the worship leader to facilitate that process so that we don't just have a great, I mean, because you're a talented musician and like you're a really talented musician, but your goal's not to be a talented musician when you're worship. Like, what is your job as a worship leader?
I think it's to form a culture. So I think that's the biggest thing that I think that sometimes overlook. It's like, oh, well, you just get a good worship leader in there, you just get a good pianist in there, and then it's all going to be fixed. It's like, no, you actually have to create a culture.
Yeah.
And I actually think parishes and schools and whatever need to create places where worship can actually be taught.
Yeah.
Because if you actually can't teach worship, then you can bring people and invite. I mean, I played at my parish in Toledo for a while, and I mean, I would lead praise and worship music, you know? And so from a lot of people, a lot of parishes or universities, it's like, that's the dream. Get a talented person, come in and play.
Yeah.
We've checked that box.
But it doesn't actually, it didn't, I mean, people did encounter the Lord through. People would come up afterwards and be like,
Probably
oh, that was so
enjoy
beautiful.
the music more.
Right.
Yeah.
And they enjoyed it, but it didn't actually, you didn't have a parish that was worshiping the Lord.
Yeah.
They were like, kind of like, I mean, they were spectators. They're like, oh, this is really nice. And I'm enjoying it. It's making me feel
I
something.
really like Joseph's long hair.
Right, exactly. It wasn't even long at that point. My mom wouldn't let me get it long. I had to cut it all the time. It was the worst. But it was like,
Right? Is that why you grow it out?
yeah,
now?
it's
Like,
out of rebellion,
Yeah.
defiance. But it's to create a culture, and that's what's happening here at Damascus, and why people have come here who have been to places like Bethel or Upper Room or Hillsong, these other like worship places, and then come here and they're like, there is something special here that we don't even see at these places.
Yeah.
I went to Bethel this past summer, and I'm like, their worship leaders are way more talented than we are. Their production is way better than we are. Their instrumentals are way better than we are.
Yeah. Hey
but there's
now.
something for now. But there's something about the culture that we have in a room.
Yeah.
That I miss our worship at home.
Yeah.
And it's creating a culture. And at Damascus, I'm sure you guys have probably talked about it at some point, but we have our missionary mindsets, right? Our Jesus-centered, mission-focused, joy-filled, obedient toilet plunger. Anytime I talk about worship or teach on worship, I teach about our culture of worship.
Yeah.
That our worship is Jesus-centered. It's not about us, it's about him. It's mission-focused, right? Like our mission is to pour out for the Lord, not to try to get something for ourselves. It's joy-filled, right? Like our worship changes our environments, not the other way around. It's obedient to what the Lord's doing, to what the worship leader is going. It's toilet plunging. Like we're actually digging deep for something. David said, like, let me never offer you something, Lord, that doesn't cost me something. And so it's like, I'll teach on, that's what, if I had to teach on, if I had to teach on how to, change parish culture, it's, you have to teach them worship.
Yeah.
No, I love it.